Hey, what's up, guys? Louis here. Just wanted to share with you all a quick little production tip that I use for any synth parts or bass parts that are just very blockish, very droned out. Not a lot of movement going on, just, holding block chords or holding long drone notes. Usually parts like that can get very boring and they're just not exciting. So I'm going to share with you something that I do to make them a little more appealing, a little less bland. So here we go. I use a plugin called ShaperBox2, and it's by a company called Cableguys. And essentially what it is, it's a plugin that has a bunch of different shapers that manipulate certain things. So you have the time shaper that just manipulates time. There's one that manipulates drive, a filter, changing the bit rate, crushing it, volume, pan, and width. So for this one specifically, I have one that is manipulating the volume and one that's manipulating drive. So before I enable that, I want to show you what the original part sounds like. So here it is. Very basic sounding, not a lot of movement or anything. There's a chord being changed every 2 bars. I left a click in there on purpose so you can just hear the timing of it and what this plugin is going to be doing. So if I go over here to the volume shaper and I turn it on, you can adjust the length of this whole pattern. Usually I just leave it set to 1 bar, and then you have these points that you can create and just draw different shapes that will manipulate the volume. Usually anything here at the bottom is 0 volume, so that means that there's just no sound coming through, and then anything up here is volume that's coming all the way up. So there's also a mix parameter here. If I turn the mix all the way up, it'll give you a good idea of what the plugin is doing for the volume side of it. So I'm going to go ahead and play it now, and just so you can see what this pattern is doing. Now, obviously that's super drastic. So I'm going to bring down the mix to about 36-ish or so, 35, 36. And then turn it back on, and then that way you can hear what that sounds like. So still very subtle, but it's giving it a little bit more movement, which makes it sound a little cooler. The next shaper that I'm using is the drive shaper, and this is just adding harmonic distortion to the signal. It's just overdriving it, and then same deal here. 0 is no distortion. The further you get up, it's more drive, more overdrive. And here you have an overall control over how much drive is happening, and then as well as the how you have it in the volume side, you also have a mix knob here. So if I turn this all the way up to the top and I turn the track back on, you'll hear what this is doing in conjunction with this. So that sounds pretty cool. I'll probably bring the mix back down a little bit and see what that sounds like. So that already sounds really cool to me. I'll A and B it again without the plugin and then with the plugin, and then that way you can hear what all the plugin is doing. So this is without it. And then this is with it. if I take the click off, you can hear better rhythmically what this guy is doing, and you don't even need to click at this point to feel the pulse of what the rhythm is. So there you have it. This ShaperBox2 plugin is just something that I use a lot. It's in my go-to toolbox, and it's just very, very helpful for turning super bland and boring parts into something that's a little more exciting. So hopefully that helped you guys. Stay tuned for more tips.